right, good evening, folks. We'll continue tonight in the 1540 Great Bible reading with 2 Kings. So let's do it. Chapter 1. Okay. Chapter 1. And Moab did wickedly against Israel after the death of Ahab, and Ahaziah fell through a lattice window of his upper chamber that he had in Samaria. And while he was in his sickness, he sent messengers, and said unto them, Go and inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this my disease. But the angel of the Lord spake to Elijah the Tishbite, Arise and go up against the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, Is there not a God in Israel, that should go to ask counsel at Beelzebub the god of Ekron? Wherefore thus saith the Lord, Thou shalt not come down from the bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt die the death. And Elijah departed. And when the messengers turned back again unto him, he said unto them, Why are ye now come? They answered him, There came a man up against us, and said unto us, Go and turn again unto the king that sent you, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Is there not a God in Israel, that thou sendest to inquire of Beelzebub the god of Ekron? Therefore thou shalt not come down from the bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt die the death. And he said unto them, What manner of man was that which came up in your way, and told you these words? And they answered him, It was an hairy man, and girded with a girdle of leather about his loins. And he said, It is Elijah the Tishbite. Then the king sent unto him a captain over 50, with his 50 men. And behold, he, Elijah, sat on the top of an hill. And he spake unto him, Thou man of God, the king hath said, Come down. Elijah answered and said to the captain over the 50, If I be a man of God, fire come down from heaven, and consume thee and thy 50. And there came fire of God, and consumed him and his 50. And the king went again, and sent another captain over 50 with his 50. And he answered and said unto him, O man of God, thus hath the king said, Make haste and come down. Elijah answered and said unto him, If I be a man of God, fire come down from heaven, and consume thee and thy 50. And there came fire of God down from heaven, and consumed him and his 50. And the king went again, and sent the third captain over 50 with his 50 men. And the third captain over 50 went up, and came, and fell on his knees before Elijah, and besought him, and said unto him, O man of God, let my life, and the life of the 50, thy servants, be precious in thy sight. Behold, there came fire down from heaven, and burnt up the four captains over 50 with their 50s. Therefore let my life now be precious in thy sight. And the angel of the Lord said unto Elijah, Go down with him, and be not afraid of him. And he arose and went down with him unto the king. And he said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Forasmuch as thou hast sent messengers to ask counsel at Beelzebub the god of Ekron, as though there had been no God in Israel, whose word thou mightest seek after, therefore thou shalt not come down off the bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt die the death. And so he died according to the word of the Lord which Elijah had spoken. And Jehoram his brother began to reign in his stead in the 2nd year of Joram the son of Josaphat, king of Judah, because he had no son. Two concurrent Jorams. The rest of the words that concern Ahaziah, what things that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? 2. And it chanced that when the Lord would take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal, and Elijah said to Elisha, Tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Bethel. Elisha said unto him, As surely as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they came down to Bethel, and the children of the prophets that were at Bethel came out to Elisha, and said unto him, Knowest thou not how that the Lord will take away thy master from thine head this day? He said, I know it also. Hold ye your peace. And Elijah said unto him, Elisha, tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Jericho. He said, As surely as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And so they came to Jericho. And the children of the prophets that were at Jericho came to Elisha, and said unto him, Knowest thou not that the Lord will take away thy master from thine head this day? He answered, I know it also. Hold ye your peace. And Elijah said unto him, Tarry, I pray thee here, for the Lord hath sent me to Jordan. He said, As surely as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And so they two went together. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets came and stood on the other side afar off, and they too stood by Jordan. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the waters, and they were divided, part the one way and part the other, so that they too went over through the dry land. And it fortuned that as soon as they were over, Elijah said unto Elisha, Ask what I shall do for thee, ere I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let thy spirit be double upon me. And he said, Thou hast asked an hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken away from thee, thou shalt have it so. If thou do not, it shall not be. And it fortuned that as they went walking and talking, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up through the whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha saw, and cried, O my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took his own clothes, and rent them in 2 pieces. He took up also the mantle of Elijah that fell from him, and went back again, and stood by Jordan's side, and took the mantle of Elijah that fell from him, and smote the waters, and they parted not asunder. And he said, Where is the Lord God of Elijah? And he himself. And when he had smitten the waters, they parted this way and that way, and Elisha went over. And when the children of the prophets which were at Jericho saw him from afar, they said, The spirit of Elijah doth rest on Elisha. And they came to meet him, and fell to the ground before him, and said unto him, See, there be with thy servants 50 strong men. Let them go and seek thy master. Haply the Spirit of the Lord hath taken him up, and cast him upon some mountain, or into some valley. And he said, He shall send none. And when they lay upon him till he was ashamed, he said, Send. They sent therefore 50 men, which sought him 3 days, but found him not. And when they came again to him, they tarried at Jericho. To him which tarried at Jericho, he said unto them, Did not I say unto you that ye should not go? And the men of the city said unto Elisha, Behold, sir, the dwelling of this city is pleasant, as thou thyself seest, but the water is not, and the ground barren. He said, Bring me a new cruse, and put salt therein. And they brought it to him. And he went unto the spring of the waters, and cast the salt in thither, and said, Thus saith the Lord, I have healed this water. There shall not come henceforth either death or barrenness. So the waters were healed until this day, according to the sayings of Elisha which he spake. And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up the way, there came little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And he turned back, and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came 2 she-bears out of that wood, and tare 42 children of them. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he turned again to Samaria. A little bit ambiguous what little children means here. Immature people. 3. Joram the son of Ahab began to reign upon Israel in Samaria the 18th year of Jehoshaphat king of Judah, and reigned 12 years. And he wrought evil in the sight of the Lord, but not like his father and like his mother, for he put away the images of Baal that his father had made. Nevertheless he cleaved unto the sons of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin, and departed not therefrom. And Mesha the king of Moab was a lord of sheep, and rendered unto the king of Israel 100,000 lambs and 100,000 rams with the wool. But when Ahab was dead, it fortuned that the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. And King Joram went out of Samaria the same season, and numbered all Israel, and went and sent to Jehoshaphat the king of Judah, saying, The king of Moab hath offended against me. Wilt thou come with me against Moab to battle? He answered, I will come up, for as I am, so art thou, and as my people be, so are thy people, and thy horses as mine. And he said, What way shall we go up? And he answered, The way through the wilderness of Edom. And so the king of Israel took his journey, and the king of Judah, and the king of Edom. And when they had compassed the way 7 days, they had no water for the host, and for the cattle that followed them. And the king of Israel said, Alas, the Lord hath called these 3 kings together, to deliver them over into the hand of Moab. But Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord, that we may inquire of the Lord by him? And one of the king of Israel's servants answered and said, Here is Elisha, the son of Shaphat, which poured water on the hands of Elijah, his servant. And Jehoshaphat said, Is not the word of the Lord with him? And so the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat and the king of Edom went down to him. And Elisha said unto the king of Israel, What have I to do with thee? Get thee to the prophets of thy father and to the prophets of thy mother. And the king of Israel said unto him, O nay, for the Lord hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. And Elisha said, As sure as the Lord of hosts liveth, in whose sight I stand, and it were not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat the king of Judah, I would not look toward thee, nor yet see thee. But now bring me a minstrel. And when the minstrel played, the hand of the Lord came upon him. And he said, Thus saith the Lord, Make this plain ground full of ditches. For thus saith the Lord, Ye shall see neither wind nor rain, and yet the brook shall be filled with water, that ye may drink, both ye and your beasts and your cattle. And this is yet but a small thing in the sight of the Lord, for as much as he will give over the Moabites also into your hands. And ye shall smite every strong town and every goodly city, and shall fell every pleasant tree, and stop every well of water, and mar every good plot of ground with stones. And in the morning, when the meat offering was offered, it fortuned that there came water by the way from Edom, and the country was filled with water. And when all the Moabites heard that the kings were come up to fight against them, they gathered all together, from the youngest that was able to put on harness, and so upward, and stood in the border of the land. From the youngest upward. And they were up early in the morning, and the sun shone upon the water, that the Moabites saw the water afar off, as red as blood. And they said, This is the blood of slaughter. The kings are slain, and one hath smitten another. Now therefore, Moab, get thee to the spoil. And when they came to the host of Israel, the Israelites stood up and smote the Moabites, so that they fled before them, and they followed upon them, and smote Moab. And they overthrew the cities, and on every good parcel of land cast every man his stone, and filled it, and they stopped all the wells of water, and felled all the good trees. Only in the city of brick left they the stones thereof. Howbeit they went about it with slings, and smote it. And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was sore against him, he took with him 700 men that drew the sword to have gone through. Okay. Even unto the king of Edom, but they could not. And then he took his eldest son that should have reigned in his stead, and offered him for a burnt offering upon the wall. And there was great indignation against Israel. And they departed from him, and returned to their own land. 4. And there cried a certain woman of the wives of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, Thy servant my husband is dead, and thou knowest that thy servant did fear the Lord, and the creditor is come to fetch my 2 sons to be his bondmen. Elisha said unto her, Tell me what I shall do for thee. What hast thou in thine house? She said, Thine handmaid hath nothing at all in the house, save a pitcher of oil. He said unto her, Go and borrow vessel for thee of them that are without, even of all thy neighbors, empty vessels, and that not a few. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door after thee and after thy sons, and pour out into all those vessels, and set aside that which is full. And so the woman went from him, and shut the door after her and after her sons, and they brought to her, and she poured out. And it came to pass that when the vessels were full, she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, I have no more. And the oil ceased. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go and sell the oil, and pay them that thou art in debt unto, and live thou and thy children of the rest. And it fell on a day that Elisha came to Shunem, where was a great woman that took him in for to eat bread. And so it came to pass that from that time forth, as oft as he came that way, he turned in thither to eat bread. And she said unto her husband, Behold, I perceive that this is an holy man of God that cometh so oft by our place. Let us make him a chamber, I pray thee, with walls, and let us set him there a bed, and a table, and a stool, and a candlestick, that he may turn in thither when he cometh to us. And it fortuned on a day that he came thither, and turned into the chamber, and lay therein, and said to Gehazi his servant, Call this Shunammite. And when he called her, she presented herself before him. And again he said unto him, Tell her, Behold, thou hast been careful for us, and hast made all this provision. What shall we now do for thee? Wouldest thou be spoken for to the king, or to the captain of the host? She answered, I dwell among mine own people. And he said, I dwell among mine own people. And he said again, What is to be done for her? Gehazi answered, Verily, she hath no child, and her husband is old. And he said, Call her. And when he had called her, she stood in the door. And he said, By such a time, and as soon as the fruit can live, thou shalt embrace a son. And she said, O nay, my lord, thou man of God, do not lie unto thy handmaid. And the wife conceived and bare a son, that same season that Elisha had said unto her, As soon as the fruit could have life. And when the child was grown, it fell on a day that he went out to his father and to the reapers. And he said to his father, My head, my head. And he said to a lad, Carry him to his mother. And when he had carried him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon, and then died. And she went up, and laid him on the bed of the man of God, and shut the door about him, and went out, and called unto her husband, and said, Send with me, I pray thee, one of the young men and one of the asses, for I will run to the man of God, and come again. And he said, Wherefore wilt thou go to him, seeing that today is neither new moon nor Sabbath day? She answered, For health. Then she saddled an ass, and said to her servant, Lead away the ass, and make her not go slowly, because I ride upon her. Make her not go slowly, but when I bid thee. And so she went, and came unto the man of God to Mount Carmel. And it fortuned that when the man of God saw her far off, he said to Gehazi his servant, Behold, yonder is the Shunammite. Run therefore to meet her, and say unto her, Is all well with thee, and with thy husband, and with the lad? And she answered, All is well. And when she came to the man of God up to the hill, she caught him by the feet. But Gehazi went to her to thrust her away. And the man of God said, Let her alone, for her soul is vexed within her. And the Lord hath hid it from me, and hath not told it me. Then she said, Did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I not require thee, that thou shouldest not deceive me? Then he said to Gehazi, Gird up thy loins, and take my staff in thine hand, and go thy way. If thou meet any man, salute him not. And if any salute thee, answer him not again. And lay my staff upon the face of the child. And the mother of the child said, As sure as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her. Gehazi went before them, and laid the staff upon the face of the child. But there was neither voice nor any feeling. Wherefore he went again to meet him, and told Elisha, saying, The child is not awaked. And when Elisha was come into the house, behold, the child was dead, and laid upon his bed. He went in therefore, and shut the door to the lad and him, and prayed unto the Lord, and went up and lay upon the lad, and put his mouth on his mouth, and his eyes upon his eyes, and his hands upon his hands. And when he so lay upon the child, the flesh of the child waxed warm. And he went again and walked once up and down in the house, and then went up and laid himself upon him again. And then the child gasped 7 times, and opened his eyes. And he called Gehazi, and said, Call for this Shunammite. And so he called her, which when she was come in unto him, he said unto her, Take thy son. Therefore she went in, and fell at his feet, and bowed herself to the ground, and took up her son, and went out. Elisha came again to Gilgal, and there was a dearth in the land, and the children of the prophets dwelt with him. And he said unto his servant, Set a great pot on the fire, and make pottage for the children of the prophets. And one went out into the field to gather herbs, and found, as it were, a wild vine, and gathered thereof wild colunquintitas, his lap full, and came and shred them into the pot of pottage, for they knew it not. So they poured out for the men to eat. And it fortuned that when they tasted of the pottage, they cried out and said, O thou man of God, there is death in the pot. And they could not eat thereof. But he said, Bring meal. And he cast it into the pot, and said, Fill for the people, that they may eat. And there was no more harm in the pot. There came a man from Baal Shalisha, and brought the man of God bread of the firstfruits, even 20 loaves of barley, and new corn, which was yet in his bags, and said, Give unto the people, that they may eat. And his minister answered, or why shall I set this before 100 men? He said again, Give it unto the people, that they may eat. For thus saith the Lord, They shall eat, and there shall be left over. And so he did set it before them, and they did eat, and left over, according to the word of the Lord. There you go. The bread was multiplied here by Elisha. And I think this is a backwards N, isn't it? Looks like it to me. Naaman, captain of the host of chapter 5. Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man and an honorable in the sight of his master, because that by him the Lord had given health unto Syria. He also was a mighty man and expert in war, but he was a leper. And the Syrians had gone out by companies, and had brought out of the country of Israel a little maid, and she was with Naaman's wife. And she said unto her lady, I would to God my Lord were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would deliver him of his leprosy. And he went in, and Naaman, oh, who went in? Well, anyway, and he went in and told his lord, saying, Thus and thus said the maid that is of the land of Israel. And the king of Syria said, okay, come and enter in, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he came and took with him 10 talents of silver, and 6,000 pieces of gold, and 10 change of raiments, and brought the letter to the king of Israel, containing this tenor. Now when this letter is come unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman my servant to thee, that thou mayest rid him of his leprosy. That is the summary of the letter. And it fortuned that when the king of Israel had read the letter, he rent his clothes, and said, Am I God that should slay and make alive? For he doth send to me that I should deliver a man from his leprosy. Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me. Which when Elisha the man of God had heard how that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, he sent unto the king, saying, Wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. And so Naaman came with his horses and with his chariots, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash thee in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be cleansed. But Naaman was wroth, and went away, and said, Behold, I thought with myself, he would surely come out, and stand, and call on the name of the Lord his God, and put his hand on the place, that he might heal the leprosy. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? If I wash me also in them, shall I not be cleansed? And so he turned him and departed with displeasure. And his servants came and communed with him, and said, Father, if the prophet had bidden thee do some great thing, oughtest thou not to have done it? How much rather then when he saith to thee, Wash and be clean? Then went he down and washed himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh changed like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was cleansed. And he turned again to the man of God, he and all his company, and stood before him, and said, Behold, I now know that there is no God in all the world but in Israel. Now therefore take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, As surely as the Lord liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And when the other would have constrained him to receive it, he would not. And Naaman said, Even as thou wilt, but I beseech thee, shall there not be given to thy servant as much of earth as 2 mules may bear? As much of this earth as 2 mules may bear? And I guess this substance, I think this is the phrase in the King James too. I think it's indicating, substance. For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt sacrifice nor offering unto any other god, save unto the Lord. But herein the Lord be merciful unto thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon, and doth worship there, and leaneth on mine hand, and I also worship in the house of Rimmon, when I do worship, I say, In the house of Rimmon, the Lord be merciful unto thy servant because of this thing. Unto whom he said, Go in peace. And when he was departed from him, as it were a furlong of ground, Gehazi the servant of Elisha the man of God said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman this Syrian, that he would not receive of his hand those things that he offered. As surely as the Lord liveth, I will run after him, and take somewhat of him. And so Gehazi followed Naaman. And when Naaman saw him running after him, he light down from the chariot to meet him, and said, Is all well? He answered, All is well. Behold, my master hath sent me, saying, See, there be come to me even now from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the children of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, 1 talent of silver, and 2 change of garments. And Naaman said, With a good will, take 2 talents. And he compelled him to bind 2 talents of silver in 2 bags, with 2 change of raiments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, to bear them before him. And when he came into a secret place, he took them from their hand and bestowed it in the house. And the men were let go, and they departed. But he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? He said, Thy servant went no whither. But he said unto him, Went not my heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it now a time to receive money, to receive garments, olive trees, vineyards, sheep and oxen, men servants and maidservants? The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper, as white as snow. 7. The children of the prophets said unto Elisha, Behold, the place where we dwell with thee is too little for us. We will therefore go unto Jordan, and take thence every man a beam, and build us a place to dwell in. And he answered, Go. And one said, Be content, I pray thee, and come with thy servants. And he answered, I will come. And so he went with them. And when they came to Jordan, they cut down wood. But it fortuned that as one was felling down of a tree, the axe head fell into the water. And he cried and said, Alas, master, it was lent me. And the man of God said, Where fell it? And he showed him the place. And he cut down a stick, and cast it in thither, and immediately the iron did swim. Therefore said he, Take it up. And he stretched out his hand, and took it up. But the king of Syria warred against Israel, and took counsel with his servants, and said, In yonder secret place shall be my remaining. And the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, Beware that thou go not over to such a place, for there the Syrians are lurking. Therefore the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him, and warned him of, and saved himself from it, not once nor twice. And the heart of the king of Syria was troubled for this thing, and he called for his servants, and said unto them, Will ye not show me which of our men betrayeth me to the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, None, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet that is in Israel. Telleth the king of Israel, yea, even the words that thou spakest in the privy chamber. He said, Go and espy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And one told him, saying, Behold, he is in Dotham. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots, and a mighty host. And they came by night, and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God arose up early to go out, behold, there was an host round about the town with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, master, what shall we do? He answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I beseech thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, the servant. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord, and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness, according to the desire of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, This is not the way, neither is this the town. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. And he led them to Samaria. The whole host of the Syrians. And it fortuned that when they were come to Samaria, Elisha said, Lord, open their eyes that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw. And behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. And the king of Israel said unto Elisha when he saw them, My father, shall I smite them? And he answered, Thou shalt not smite them, but smite them that thou hast taken with thine own sword, and with thine own bow, and not these, because you did not take these. But rather set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink, and go to their master. And he prepared a great refection for them, a great meal. And when they had eaten and drunken, he sent them away, and they went to their master. And so the soldiers of Syria came no more into the land of Israel. After this it chanced that Benhadad king of Syria gathered all his host, and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great dearth in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it, until an ass's head was sold for 80 silver pence, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung was for 5 shekels. And as the king of Israel was going upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. He said, If the Lord do not succor thee, wherewith can I help thee? With the barn, or with the vine press? And the king said unto her, What wilt thou? She answered, Yonder woman said unto me, Bring thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat mine tomorrow. And so we dressed my son, and did eat him. And I said to her this other day, Bring thy son, that we may eat him. and she hath hid her son. And it came to pass that when the king heard the words of the woman, he rent his clothes, and went up on the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth under upon his flesh. And he said, God do so and so to me, if the head of Elisha the son of Shaphat shall stand on him this day, if his head shall or remain on him. But Elisha sat in his house, and the elders sat by him, and the king sent a man before him. But ere the messenger came to him, he said to the elders, Have ye not seen how that the son of this man-murderer hath sent to take away mine head? Be circumspect when the messenger cometh, and shut the door, and hold him at the door. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him? While he yet talked with them, behold, the messenger came down unto him, and said, Behold, this evil is of the Lord, and what more shall I look for of the Lord? What more shall I look for? I think this is the messenger speaking. Then Elisha said, Hear ye the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, Tomorrow this time shall a bushel of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 bushels of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria. Then a certain lord, on whose hand the king leaned, answered the man of God, and said, Behold, if the Lord would make windows in heaven, might this saying come to pass? He said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but shalt not eat thereof. And there were, because he doubted. This was a statement of doubt. If the Lord would make windows in heaven. I don't know. And there were 4 leprous men at the entering in of the gate, and they said one to another, Why sit we here until we die? If we say we will enter into the city, behold, the dearth is in the city, and we shall die therein. And if we sit still here, we die also. Now therefore come, and let us fall upon the host of the Syrians. If they save our lives, we shall live. If they kill us, then are we dead. And so they arose in the night to go to the host of the Syrians. And when they were come to the utmost part of the host of Syria, behold, there was no man there. For the Lord had made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots, and a noise of horses, and the noise of a great host, insomuch that they said one to another, Lo, the king of Israel hath hired against us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to come upon us. Wherefore they arose and fled in the night, and left their tents, their horses, and their asses, and the field which they had pitched, even as it was, and fled for their lives. And when these lepers came to the edge of the host, they went into a tent, and did eat and drink, and carried thence silver and gold and raiment, and went and hid it. Came again, and entered into another tent, and carried thence also, and went and hid it. Then said one to another, We do not well this day, forasmuch as it is a day to bring good tidings, and we hold our peace. If we tarry till the daylight, some mischief will come upon us. Now therefore come, that we may go and tell the king's household. And so they came and called unto the porter of the city, and told them, saying, We came to the pavilions of the Syrians, and see, there was no man there, neither voice of man, but horses and asses tied, and the tents were even as they were wont to be. And so the man called unto the porters, and they told the king's house within. And the king arose in the night, and said unto his servants, I will show you now what the Syrians have done unto us. They know that I will show you now what the Syrians have done unto us. They know that we be hungry, and therefore are they gone out of the pavilions to hide themselves in the field, saying, When they come out of the city, we shall catch them alive, and get into the city. And one of his servants answered and said, Let men take, I pray you, 5 of the horses that remain, and are left in the multitude. Behold, they are even as all the multitude of Israel that are left in the city. Behold, I say, they are even as the multitude of the Israelites that are consumed. And we will send and see. They took therefore the... Okay. The horses are like? Or the men are like? I'm not sure. They took therefore the horses of 2 chariots from the camp, and the king sent after the... Okay, no, never mind. And the king sent after the host of the Syrians, saying, Go and see. And they went after them, even unto Jordan, and lo, all the way was full of clothes and vessels which the Syrians had cast from them in their haste. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. They took horses from the camp and tried to track down where they went. And the messengers returned and told the king, and the people went out and spoiled the tents of the Syrians. And so it came to pass that a bushel of fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 bushels of barley for a shekel, according to the word of the Lord. And the king appointed um, that Lord on whose hand he leaned to be at the gate. And the people trode upon him in the gate, and he died, according to the word of the man of God, which he said when the king came down to him. And so came the thing to pass, that the man of God had spoken to the king, saying, To put 2 bushels of barley for a shekel, and a bushel of fine flour for another, shall be tomorrow this time in the gate of Samaria. Whereunto that Lord answered the man of God, and said, Yea, and if the Lord made windows in heaven, might it come to pass? And he said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, and shalt not eat thereof. And even so it chanced it unto him, for the people trode upon him in the gate, and he died. 2 bushels for a shekel, and a bushel for another shekel. 8. Then spake Elisha unto the woman, whose son he had restored to life again, saying, Up and go, thou and thine house, and sojourn wheresoever thou canst, for the Lord hath called for a dearth, and the same shall come upon the land 7 years. And the woman arose and did after the saying of the man of God, and went both she and her household, and sojourned in the land of the Philistines 7 years. And at the 7 years' end it fortuned that the woman came again out of the land of the Philistines, and went out to call upon the king for her house and for her land. And the king talked with Gehazi the servant of the man of God, saying, Tell me, I pray, all the great deeds that Elisha hath done. I guess kind of coincidentally at the same time. He told the king how he had restored a dead man to life again. But in the meantime the woman, whose child he had raised up again, cried to the king for her house and for her land. And Gehazi said, My lord, O king, this is the woman, and this is her son, whom Elisha raised up again. And when the king asked the woman, she told him. And so the king delivered her a chamberlain, saying, Restore thou unto her all that are hers, and all the fruits of the field, since the day that she left the land until this time. And Elisha came to Damascus, and Benhadad the king of Syria was sick. And one told him, saying, The man of God is come hither. And the king said unto Azahel, Take a present in thine hand, and go meet the man of God, that thou mayest ask the Lord by him, whether I shall recover of this disease. And so Hazael, or Azahel, went to meet him, and took the present with him, and of every good thing of Damascus, even as much as 40 camels could bear, and came and presented himself before him, and said, Thy son Benhadad, king of Syria, hath sent me to thee, saying, Shall I recover of this disease? And Elisha said to him, Go and say unto him, Thou shalt recover, howbeit the Lord hath showed me that he shall surely die. And he looked aside. And he looked aside, and was ashamed, and the man of God wept. And Hazael said, Why weepeth my lord? He answered, For I know the evil things that thou shalt do unto the children of Israel. For their strong cities shalt thou set on fire, and their young men shalt thou slay with the sword, and shalt dash out the brains of their sucking children, and all to tear their women with child. And Hazael said, What is thy servant, a dog, that I should do this great thing? And Elisha answered, The Lord hath showed me that thou shalt be king of Syria. And so he departed from Elisha, and came to his master, which said to him, What said Elisha to thee? He answered, He told me that thou shouldest recover. And on the morrow it fortuned that he took a thick cloth, and dipped it in water, and spread it on his face, and he died, and Hazael reigned in his stead. There you have it. The 5th year of Joram the son of Ahab king of Israel, Jehoshaphat being also king of Judah, Joram the son of Jehoshaphat king of Judah began to reign. 32 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem. And he walked in the ways of the king of Israel, as they that were of the house of Ahab, for the daughter of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord would not destroy Judah, and that because of David his servant, as he promised him to give him alway a light, among his children, a man on the throne. There shall not fail a man of your house to sit on the throne. In those days Edom did wickedly when he was under the hand of Judah, for they made them a king of their own. So Joram went to Zair, he and all his chariots with him. And he arose by night and smote the Edomites which compassed him in with the captains of his chariots, and the people fled into their tents. But Edom rebelled so that he would not be under the hand of Judah unto this day. And then Lobnah began to be disobedient even that same time. The rest of the words that concern Joram and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Joram rested with his fathers, and was buried beside his fathers in the city of David. And Ahaziah his son reigned in his stead. In the 12th year of Joram the son of Ahab king of Israel did Ahaziah the son of Joram king of Judah begin to reign. 22 years old was Ahaziah when he began to reign, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Athaliah, the daughter of Omri king of Israel. But he walked in the way of the house of Ahab, and did evil in the sight of the Lord, even as did the house of Ahab. For he was the son-in-law of the house of Ahab. And he went with Joram the son of Ahab to war against Hazael king of Syria in Ramoth-Gilead, and the Syrians wounded Joram. And King Joram went back again to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him at Ramoth when he fought against Hazael king of Syria. And Ahaziah the son of Joram king of Judah went down to see Joram the son of Ahab in Jezreel, because he was sick there. 9. And Elisha the prophet called one of the children of the prophets, and said unto him, Gird up thy loins, and take this box of oil in thy hand, and get thee to Ramoth in Gilead. And when thou comest thither, look where is Jehu the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, and go to him, and make him arise up from among his brethren, and carry him to a secret chamber. Then take the box of oil, and pour it on his head, and say, Thus saith the Lord, I have anointed thee to be king over Israel. And then open the door, and flee without any tarrying. And so the servant of the prophet gat him to Ramoth-Gilead. And when he came in, behold, the captains of the host were sitting together. And he said, I have an errand to thee, O captain. And Jehu said, Unto which of all us? He said, To thee, O captain. And he arose and went into the house. And he poured the oil on his head, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I have anointed thee to be king over the people of the Lord, even over Israel. Thou shalt smite the house of Ahab thy master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of the Lord, of the hand of Jezebel. For the whole house of Ahab shall be destroyed. And I will destroy from Ahab even him that maketh water against the wall, and him that is prisoned and forsaken in Israel. And I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah. And as for Jezebel, the dogs shall eat her in the field of Jezreel, and there shall be none to bury her. And he opened the door and fled. I forgot Jezebel was still alive. Jehu came out to the servants of his lord, and one said unto him, Is all well? Wherefore came this mad fellow to thee? And he said unto them, Ye know what manner of man it is, and what his communication is. They said unto him again, Is it not so? Tell us. He said, Thus and thus spake he to me, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I have anointed thee to be king over Israel. Then they, beside the horology, then they which were beside the horology hasted, and took every man his garment, and put it under him, and blew with trumpets, saying, Jehu is king. And so Jehu the son of Joshaphat, the son of Nimshi, conspired against Joram. Joram kept Ramoth-Gilead, he and all Israel, because of Hazael king of Syria. And King Joram returned to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him when he fought with Hazael king of Syria. I need to find out what a horology is. Chapter 9. Yeah, the King James just says they hasted and took every man his garment, which might be what it originally says. Maybe this is a phrase I don't know about. Is beside the horology, which I think is like, timekeeping, isn't it? Is this just signifying how quickly they hasted? Is this a phrase like a some kind of idiomatic phrase? I'll find out later. And Jehu said, If it be your minds, then let no man depart and escape out of the city to go and tell in Jezreel. So Jehu gat up into a chariot and went to Jezreel, where Joram lay, and Ahaziah king of Judah was come down thither to see Joram. And the watchman that stood in the tower of Jezreel spied the company of Jehu as he came, and said, I see a company. And Joram said, Take a horseman and send to meet them, that he may ask whether it be peace. And so there went one on horseback to meet him, and said, Thus saith the king, Is it peace? And Jehu said, What hast thou to do with peace? Turn thee behind me. And the watchman told, saying, The messenger came to them, but he cometh not again. Then he sent out another on horseback, which came to them, and said, Thus saith the king, Is it peace? Jehu answered, What hast thou to do with peace? Turn thee behind me. And the watchman told, saying, He came to them also, and cometh not again. And the driving is like the driving of Jehu the son of Nimshi, for he driveth that chariot as he were mad. And Joram said, Make ready, and the chariot was made ready. And Joram king of Israel and Ahaziah king of Judah went out, either of them in his chariot, against Jehu, and met him in the furlong of Naboth the Jezreelite. The acreage. Hmm. In the furlong. That's cool. To mean a site, an area. And it fortuned that when Joram saw Jehu, he said, Is it peace, Jehu? He answered, What peace should there be, so long as the whoredoms of thy mother Jezebel and her witchcrafts are so great? And Joram turned his hands and fled, and said to Ahaziah, There is falsehood? Falsehood? I'm not sure. No, it's something similar to falsehood. Treachery. Treachery in the King James, isn't it? There is treachery, yeah. Looks like falsehood, but it's probably something similar. Can't read it. There is falsehood. Ahaziah. Falsehood. And Jehu took a bow in his hands and smote Joram between the arms, and the arrow went through his heart, and he fell down flat in his chariot. Then said Jehu to Bidkar, captain, Take him and cast him in the plot of ground of Naboth the Jezreelite. For I remember that when I and thou rode together in a chariot after Ahab thy father, the Lord laid his heavy burden upon him. I have seen yesterday the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons, said the Lord, and I will quite it. I will quite it to thee in this ground. And I think even I will quit it thee in this ground. I will acquit you by the shedding of his blood. I will quit thee. I will quit it thee. So yeah, it comes from the same root word. But I think quite, I will quite it thee makes sense. Now therefore take him and cast him in the plot of ground according to the word of the Lord. But when Ahaziah the king of Judah saw this, he fled by the way of the garden house. And Jehu followed after him and said, Smite him also in the chariot. And they smote him in his chariot at the going up to Gur by Eblaim. And he fled to Megiddo, and there he died. And there died. And his servants carried him in a chariot to Jerusalem, and buried him there in his sepulchre with his fathers, to the city of David, in the city of David. And in the 11th year of Joram the son of Ahab began Ahaziah to reign over Judah. And when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and starched her face, and attired her head, and looked out at a window. And as Jehu entered at the gate, she said, Had Zimri peace, which slew his master? And he lifted up his eyes to the window, and said, Who is of my side? Who? And there looked out to him 2 or 3 chamberlains, and he said, Throw her down. So they threw her down, and her blood dashed toward the wall and toward the horses, and he trode her under foot. And when he was come in, he did eat and drink, and said, Go and visit, I pray you, yonder cursed creature, and bury her, for she is a king's daughter. So when they came to bury her, they found no more of her than the skull and the feet, and the palms of her hands, wherefore they came again and told him. And he said, This is the word of the Lord, which he spake by the hand of his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, In the field of Jezreel shall the dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel. And so the carcass of Jezebel was even as dung upon the earth in the field of Jezreel, so that no man might say, This was Jezebel. 10. Ahab had 70 sons in Samaria. And Jehu wrote letters, and sent to Samaria, unto the rulers of Jezreel, to the elders, and to them that brought up Ahab's children, saying, Now when this letter cometh to you, ye that have with you your master's sons, ye have with you both chariots and horses, a strong city have ye also, and harness. Look which of your master's sons is best and most meet, and set him on his father's seat, and fight for your Lord's house. But they were exceedingly afraid, and said, See, 2 kings were not able to stand before him. How shall we then be able to stand? And he that was governor of Ahab's house, and he that ruled of the city, the elders also, and the tutors, sent to Jehu, saying, We are thy servants, and will do all that thou shalt bid us. We will make no man king. Therefore do thou what seemeth good in thine eyes. Then he wrote another letter to them, saying, If ye be mine, and will hearken unto my voice, then take the heads of the men that are your master's sons, and come to me to Jezreel by tomorrow this time. And the king's sons were 70 persons, and they were with the great men of the city, which brought them up. And when the letter came to them, they took the king's children, and slew them, even 70 persons, and laid their heads in baskets, and sent them unto him to Jezreel. And there came a messenger, and told him, saying, They have brought the heads of the king's sons. And he said, Let them lay them on 2 heaps in the entering in of the gate until the morning. And when it was day, he went out, and stood, and said to all the folk, Ye be righteous. Behold, I conspired against my master, and slew him. But who slew all these? Learn here that there shall fall unto the earth nothing of the word of the Lord, which he spake concerning the house of Ahab. For the Lord hath brought to pass the things that he spake by the hands of his servant Elijah. And so Jehu slew all that remained of the house of Ahab in Jezreel, and all that were great with him, and his kinsfolks and priests, so that he let nothing of him remain. And he arose and departed, and came to Samaria. And when Jehu was in the way to the house where the shepherds did shear their sheep, he met with the brethren of Ahaziah king of Judah, and said, What are ye? They answered, The brethren of Ahaziah are we, and go down to salute the children of the king and the queen, is what we are, is what we do. And he said, Take them alive. Whom, when they had taken them alive, they slew. They slew them at the well, which was beside the house where the sheep are shorn, even 42 men, neither left he any of them. And we go down to salute. Okay. And when he was departed thence, he met with Jonadab the son of Rechab, coming against him. And he blessed him, and said to him, Is thine heart right, as my heart is true with thine? And Jonadab answered, Yea, that it is. Yea, that it is. If it be, saith he, then give me thine hand. And when he had given him his hand, he took him up to him in the chariot, and said, Come with me, and see the zeal that I have for the Lord. And so they made him ride in his chariot. And when he came to Samaria, he slew all that remained unto Ahab in Samaria, till he had wiped him out. Wiped him out, according to the saying of the Lord which he spake to Elijah. And Jehu gathered all the people together, and said unto them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu shall serve him more, is what he says. Anyway, now therefore call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all such as serve him, and all his priests, and let none be lacking, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal, and therefore whosoever is missed, he shall not live. But Jehu did it for a subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the servants of Baal. I like this contraction, the intent, the intent. I've seen this 3 or 4 times. It might be to the intent. To the intent. And Jehu said, Proclaim an holy convocation for Baal. And Jehu sent unto all Israel. And all the servants of Baal came, that there was not a man left behind that came not. And they came into the house of Baal, and the house of Baal was full from one end to another. And he said unto him that was the keeper of the vestry, Bring forth garments for all the servants of Baal. And he brought them out garments. And when Jehu went with Jonadab the son of Rechab into the house of Baal, he said unto the servants of Baal, Search and look, that there be here with you none of the servants of the Lord, but the servants of Baal only. And when they went in to offer sacrifice and burnt offering, Jehu appointed 80 men without, and said, If any of the men whom I have brought under your hands escape, he that letteth go shall die for him, in exchange for him. And it fortuned that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt sacrifice, Jehu said to the men of war and to the captains, Go in and slay them, let none come out. And they smote them with the edge of the sword. And the men of war and the captains cast them out, and went unto the city of the temple of Baal, and fetched the images out of the temple of Baal, and burnt them. And they brake the image of Baal, and brake the house of Baal, and made a draught house of it unto this day. Well, that's how you pronounce draft, then. It might be draught. And so Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. But from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin, Jehu departed not, neither from following of them, neither forsook he the golden calves that were in Bethlehem or Bethel and in Dan. And the Lord said unto Jehu, Because thou hast done right well in bringing to pass the thing that is right in mine eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab according to all things that are in mine heart, therefore shall thy children unto the 4th generation sit on the seat of Israel. But Jehu cared not for this, to walk in the law of the Lord God of Israel with all his heart, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. In those days the Lord began to cut Israel short, and Hazael smote them in all the coasts of Israel, from Jordan eastward, even all the land of Gilead, the Gadites, the Reubenites, and them that were of Manasseh, from Aroer unto the river Arnon, even Gilead and Bashan. The rest of the words that concern Jehu, and all that he did, and all his power, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehu slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Jehoahaz his son reigned in his stead. And the time that Jehu reigned upon Israel in Samaria is 28 years. 11. And Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, when she saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the king's seed. But Jehoshaba, the daughter of King Joram, and sister to Ahaziah, took Joaz, the son of Ahaziah, and stale him from among the king's sons that were slain, and his nurse with him, out of a sleeping chamber, and hid him from Athaliah, that he was not slain. And he was with her, hid in the house of the Lord 6 years. And Athaliah did reign over the land. This is Joash. What is her name? Jehosheba. And the 7th year Jehoiada sent and fetched the rulers over the hundreds with the captains and them of the guard, and took them to him into the house of the Lord, and made a bond with them, and took an oath of them in the house of the Lord, and showed them the king's son. And he commanded them, saying, This is it that ye must do. 1/3 part of you, whose duty is it to come on the Sabbath day, shall keep the watch of the king's house. And another third part that shall keep the gate of Shur. And another third part shall keep the gate which is behind them of the guard. And so shall ye keep the watch of the house of Massa. And two parts of you, and 2 parts of you, that is, all that go out on the Sabbath day, shall keep the watch of the house of the Lord about the king. And ye shall compass the king round about, and every man shall have his weapon in his hand. And whosoever cometh within the ranges, let him be slain. And see that ye be with the king as he goeth out and in. The watch of the house of Messa, that's the king's house. Keep the watch of the king's house. Oh, keep the watch of the house, that it not be broken down. Okay. I guess Messa corresponds to that it not be broken down, left untranslated. Okay. And the captains over the hundreds did according to all things that Jehoiada the priest commanded, and they took every man his men that were to come in on the Sabbath day, with them that should go out on the Sabbath, and came to Jehoiada the priest. And to the captains over hundreds did the priest give King David's spears and shields that were in the temple. And they of the guard stood, and every man had his weapon in his hand round about the king, from the right corner of the temple to the left, along by the altar and the temple. And he brought out the king's son, and put the crown upon him, and delivered him the witness, and made him king, and anointed him. And they clapped their hands, and said, God save the king. And when Athaliah heard the noise of the running of the people, she came to the people into the temple of the Lord. And when she looked, behold, the king stood by a pillar, as the manner was, and the singers and the trumpeters by the king. And all the people of the land rejoiced, and blew with trumpets. And Athaliah rent her clothes, and cried, Treason, treason. But Jehoiada the priest commanded the captains of the hundreds that had the rule of the host, and said unto them, Have her out without the temple, that she may be within the ranges, and if any follow her, kill him with the sword. For the priest had said, She may not be slain in the house of the Lord. And they laid hands on her till she came into the way by the which the horses went into the king's palace, and there was she slain. And Jehoiada made a bond between the Lord and the king and the people, that they should be the Lord's people, and also between the king and the people. And all the people of the land went into the house of Baal and destroyed it. His hill altars also, and his images brake they down lustily, and slew Mattan the priest of Baal before the altars. And the priest set a watch over the house of the Lord, and took the rulers over hundreds, the captains, and of them of the guard, and all the people of the land. And they brought the king from the house of the Lord, and came by the way of the gate, the gate of them of the guard. The gate of them of the guard. The gate of the guard. The gate of them of the guard. Okay. To the king's palace. And he sat him down on the seat of the kings. And all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was in quiet. And they slew Athaliah with the sword beside the king's palace. 7 years old was Jehoash when he began to reign, or Joaz. 12. And he began to reign in the 7th year of Jehu. 40 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zebiah of Beersheba. And he did that which was good in the sight of the Lord, as long as Jehoiada the priest informed him. But the hill altars were not taken away, for the people offered and burnt incense yet upon the hill altars. And Joash said to the priests, All the silver of dedicate things that be brought to the house of the Lord in current money, that is to say, the money that every man is set at, and all the money that every man with a willing heart giveth and bringeth into the house of the Lord, let the priests take it to them, every man of his acquaintance, to repair the broken places of the house, wheresoever any decay is found. And so it came to pass that unto the 23rd year, unto 23rd year of King Joash, the priests had mended nothing that was decayed in the temple. Then King Joash called for Jehoiada the bishop and the priests, and said unto them, Why repair ye not the broken places of the temple? Now therefore see that ye receive no more money of your acquaintance, except ye deliver it to repair the temple withal. And the priests consented to receive no more money of the people, except to repair the decayed places of the temple. But Jehoiada the priest took a chest, and bored an hole in the lid of it, and set it beside the altar on the right side, as every man cometh into the temple of the Lord. And the priests that kept the vessels put therein all the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. And it fortuned that when they saw there was much money in the chest, the king's scribe and the high priest came up and told the money that was found in the house of the Lord, and put it in a bag. And they gave the money sealed into the hands of them that executed the work, and that had the oversight of the house of the Lord. And they brought it out to the carpenters and builders that wrought upon the house of the Lord, and to masons and hewers of stone. And they brought timber and free stone, timber and free stone to repair the decay in the house of the Lord, and to all that went out to mend the temple. They brought timber to all that went out to mend. Howbeit there was not made for the house of the Lord bowls of silver, instruments of music, basins, trumpets, or any vessels of gold or vessels of silver, of the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. But they gave that to the workmen, and repaired therewith the house of the Lord. Moreover, they reckoned not with the men into whose hands they delivered that money to be bestowed on workmen, for they did their business faithfully. Howbeit, trespass money and sin money was not brought into the house of the Lord, for it was the priests. Then came Hazael king of Syria up, and fought against Gath, and took it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. And Joash king of Judah took all the hallowed things that Josaphat, Joram, and Ahaziah his fathers, kings of Judah, had dedicate, and that he himself had dedicated, and all the gold that was found in the treasures of the house of the Lord, and in the king's house, and sent it to Hazael king of Syria. And so he departed from Jerusalem. The remnant of the words that concern Joash, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Judah? And his own servants arose and wrought treason, and slew Joash in the house of Millo when he came to Silla. Jozabur, the son of Shemaiah, and Jozabad, the son of Shomer, his servants, smote him, and he died. And they buried him with his fathers in the city of David. And Amaziah his son reigned in his stead. 13. In the 23rd year of Joash, the son of Ahaziah, the king of Judah, Jehoahaz the son of Jehu began to reign over Israel in Samaria 17 years. And he wrought that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin, and departed not therefrom. And the Lord was angry with Israel, and delivered them into the hand of Hazael king of Syria, and into the hand of Benhadad the son of Hazael all their days. And Jehoahaz besought the Lord, and the Lord heard him, for he considered the trouble of Israel, wherewith the king of Syria troubled them. And the Lord gave Israel a deliverer, so that they went out from under the subjection of the Syrians. And the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as beforetime. Nevertheless they departed not from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, which made Israel sin, but walked in them. And there remained a grove still also in Samaria, neither did he leave of the people to Jehoahaz, neither did he leave of the people to Jehoahaz, but 50 horsemen, 10 chariots, and 10,000 footmen, for the king of Syria destroyed them, and made them like threshed dust. The rest of the words that concern Jehoahaz and all that he did and his power, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehoahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Joash his son reigned in his stead. In the 37th year of Joash king of Judah began Joash the son of Jehoahaz to reign over Israel in Samaria 16 years, and did that which is evil in the sight of the Lord, and departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, that made Israel sin, for he walked therein. The remnant of the words that concern Joash and all that he did, and his power wherewith he fought against Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the chronicle of the book of the kings of Israel? And Joash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat upon his seat. And Joash was buried in Samaria among the kings of Israel. When Elisha was fallen sick of his sickness whereof he died, Joash the king of Israel came down unto him, and wept before him, and said, O my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen of the same, the horsemen thereof. Elisha said unto him, Take bow and arrows. And he took unto him bow and arrows. And he said to the king of Israel, Put thine hand upon the bow. And he put his hand upon it. And Elisha put his hands upon the king's hands, and said, Open a window eastward. And when he had opened it, Elisha said, Shoot. And he shot. And he said, The arrow of health of the Lord, and the arrow of health against Syria, for thou shalt smite Syria and Aphek, till thou have made an end of them. And he said, Take the arrows, and he took them. And he said unto the king of Israel, Smite the ground. And he smote thrice, and ceased. And the man of God was angry with him, and said, Thou shouldst have smitten 5 or 6 times, or 7 times. And then thou hadst smitten Syria, till thou hadst made an end of them. Where now thou shalt smite Syria but thrice. And also Elisha died, and they buried him. And the soldiers of the Moabites came into the land the same year. And it chanced, as some of them were burying a man, and spied the soldiers, they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha. And when the man was rolled down and touched the body of Elisha, he revived, and stood upon his feet. But Hazael vexed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz, and the Lord had mercy on them, and pitied them, and had respect unto them, because of his appointment made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not destroy them, neither cast he them from him as yet. So Hazael the king of Syria died, and Benhadad his son reigned in his stead. And Joash the son of Jehoahaz went again, and took out of the hand of Benhadad the son of Hazael the cities which he had taken away out of the hand of Jehoahaz his father in war. For 3 times did Joash beat him, and restored the cities unto Israel again. 14. The 2nd year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, reigned Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoadan of Jerusalem. Let's see. Yeah, Jehoadan. And he did that which is good in the sight of the Lord, yet not like David his father, but did according to all things as Joash his father did. Neither were the hill altars taken away, for as yet the people did sacrifice and burnt incense on the hill altars. And as soon as the kingdom was settled in his hand, it came to pass that he slew his servants, which had killed the king his father. But the children of those murderers he slew not, according unto it that is written in the book of the law of Moses, wherein the Lord commanded, saying, Let not the fathers die for the children, nor let the children be slain for the father, but let every man be put to death for his own sin. He slew of Edom in the salt valley 10,000, and took the cattle on the rock in the same battle. The castle. The castle on the rock. That looks a lot like cattle. And called the name of it Joktiel unto this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Joash the son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us see each other. And Joash the king of Israel sent to Amaziah king of Judah, saying, Did not a thistle that is in Lebanon send to a cedar tree that is in Lebanon, saying, Give thy daughter to my son to wife? And the wild beast that was in Lebanon went and trode down the thistle. Thou hast smitten Edom, thine heart hath made thee proud. Enjoy this glory, and tarry at home, Why dost thou provoke to mischief, that thou shouldest be overthrown, and Judah with thee? But Amaziah would not hear. And Joash king of Israel went up, and he and Amaziah king of Judah saw each other at Bethshemesh, which is in Judah. This is Bethshemesh. Yeah, Bethshemesh. And Judah was put to the worse before Israel, and they fled every man to their tents. And Joash king of Israel took Amaziah king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Ahaziah, at Bethshemesh, and came to Jerusalem, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. And he took all the gold and silver, and all the vessels that were found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house, and the children took he to be his wards, and returned to Samaria again. The rest of the acts of Joash which he did, and his power, and how he fought with Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the chronicle book of the kings of Israel? And Joash slept with his fathers, and was buried at Samaria among the kings of Israel, and Jeroboam his son reigned in his stead. Another Jeroboam. Amaziah the son of Joash king of Judah lived after the death of Joash son of Jehoahaz king of Israel 15 years. And the remnant of the words that concern Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Judah? But they conspired treason against him in Jerusalem. And when he fled to Lachish, they sent after him to Lachish, and slew him there. And they brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. And all the people of Judah took Azariah, which was 17 years old, and made him king for his father Amaziah. And he built Eloth, and brought it again to Judah, after that the king was laid to rest with his fathers. After that the king was laid to rest. In the 15th year of Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, was Jeroboam the son of Joash made king over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 41 years, and wrought that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. Neither turned he away from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin. He restored the coast of Israel from the entering of Hamath unto the sea of the wilderness, according to the word of the Lord God of Israel, which he spake by the hand of his servant Jonas, the son of Amittai the prophet, which was of Gath, which was of what? Okay. According to the word of the Lord God of Israel, which he spake by the hand of his servant Jonas, the son of Amittai the prophet, which was of Gath Hepher. For the Lord saw how that the affliction of Israel was exceeding bitter, insomuch that the prisoned and the forsaken were at an end, and there was none to help Israel. And the Lord said not that he would put out the name of Israel from under heaven, but he helped them by the hand of Jeroboam the son of Joash. And the rest of the words that concern Jeroboam, and all that he did, and his strength which he executed in the wars, and how he restored Damascus and Hamath to Judah in Israel, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jeroboam slept with his fathers, even with the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son reigned in his stead. 15. In the 27th year of Jeroboam king of Israel began Azariah king of Amaziah king of Judah to reign. 16 years old was he when he was made king, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jecholiah of Jerusalem. And I think this is Uzziah. Azariah is Uzziah, I think. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all things as did his father Amaziah, save that the hill altars were not put away, for the people offered and burnt incense still on the hill altars. And the Lord smote the king, and he was a leper unto the day of his death, and dwelt in a several house at liberty. And Jotham the king's son governed the palace, and judged the people of the land. The rest of the words that concern Azariah, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Judah? And so Azariah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Jotham his son reigned in his stead. In the 38th year of Azariah king of Judah did Zechariah the son of Jeroboam reign upon Israel in Samaria 6 months, and wrought that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, as did his fathers, and turned not away from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin. And Shallum the son of Jabesh conspired against him, and smote him in the sight of the people, and killed him, and reigned in his stead. The rest of the words that concern Zechariah, behold, they are written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel. These be also the words of the Lord which he spake unto Jehu, saying, Thy son shall sit on the seat of Israel in the 4th generation after thee. And it came so to pass. Shallum the son of Jabesh began to reign in the 39th year of Azariah king of Judah, and he reigned a month in Samaria. For Manahem the son of Gadi went up from Tirzah, and came to Samaria, and smote Shallum the son of Jabesh in Samaria, and slew him, and reigned in his stead. The rest of the words that concern Shallum, and the treason which he conspired, behold, they are written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel. The same time Menahem destroyed Tiphsah, and all that were therein, and the coasts thereof, from Tarshish. Whoa. Tarsahi. Tarshish. Trying to decide if this is there's a letter substitution here. Tarsahi. And because they opened not to him, he smote it, and ripped up all their women with child. The 39th year of Azariah king of Judah began Manahem the son of Gadi to reign upon Israel 10 years in Samaria. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and turned not away all his days from the sin of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin. And Pul the king of Assyria came upon the land, and Manahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, that his hand might be with him, and established the kingdom in his hand. And Manahem made a proclamation for the money in Israel, that all men of substance should give the king of Assyria 50 shekels of silver apiece. And so the king of Assyria turned back again, and tarried not there in the land. The rest of the words that concern Manahem, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Manahem slept with his fathers, and Pekahiah his son did in his stead succeed him in the kingdom. Pekahiah his son did in his stead succeed him in the kingdom. In the 50th year of Azariah king of Judah began Pekahiah the son of Manahem to reign over Israel in Samaria 2 years, and did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, and left not off from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel sin. But Pekah the son of Remaliah, which was a captain of his, conspired against him, and smote him in Samaria, even in the place of the king's house, with Argob and Ariah. And with him were 50 men of the Gileadites, and he killed him, and reigned in his room. The rest of the words that concern Pekahiah, and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel. In the 52nd year of Azariah king of Judah began Pekah the son of Remaliah to reign over Israel in Samaria 20 years, and did evil in the sight of the Lord, and turned not away from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, that made Israel sin. In the days of Pekah king of Israel came Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria, and took Ijon, Abel Bethmaachah, Janoah, Kadesh, Hazor, Gilead, Galilee, and all the land of Naphtali, and carried them away to Syria. And I know this is about 700 BC, 728, 700-ish. And Hosea the son of Elah conspired treason against Pekah the son of Remaliah, and smote him, and slew him, and reigned in his stead in the 20th year of Jotham the son of Uzziah. Here we go. There he's called Uzziah, or Uzziah. He is the one that reigned 52 years. The rest of the words that concern Pekah, and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel. The 2nd year of Pekah the son of Remaliah king of Israel began Jotham the son of Uzziah king of Judah to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign. And he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jerusah, the daughter of Zadok. And he did that which is right in the sight of the Lord, even according to all as did his father Uzziah, so did he. But the hill altars were not put away, for the people offered and burnt incense still in the hill altars. He built the higher door of the house of the Lord. Hmm. Well, okay. He built the higher door of the house of the Lord. What does the King James say here? The higher gate. Wow. This is still a there's still a colon right here in the King James. Oh no, where is it? Here. For the people offered and burnt incense still in the hill altars, colon, he built the higher door of the house of the Lord. That seems like okay, well, yeah. They just carried over the same punctuation. That's interesting. I'm still a little bit unclear about maybe if there is some kind of convention. I can't quite I can't quite pick up on the convention for colons in this time period. Some of them are predictable, but some of them are just like well, even like semicolons, I guess. I don't know if I've seen a semicolon here in this version. The rest of the words that concern Jotham and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In those days the Lord began to send into Judah Rezin the king of Syria, and Pekah the son of Remaliah. And Jotham slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father. And Ahaz his son reigned in his stead. 16. The 17th year of Pekah the son of Remaliah king of Israel, Ahaz the son of Jotham king of Judah began to reign. 20 years old was he when he was made king, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the eyes of the Lord his God, like David his father, but walked in the way of the kings of Israel, yea, and made his son to go through the fire after the abominations of the heathen. This almost looked like Hittites to me. Is that related? Whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And he offered and burnt incense in the hill altars, and on the hills, and under every thick tree. Then Rezin king of Syria, and Pekah son of Remaliah king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to fight, and they fought against Ahaz, but could not overcome him. At the same time Rezin king of Syria brought Elath again to Syria, reclaimed it, and rid the Jews thence from it. And the Syrians came to Elath, and dwell therein unto this day. So Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria, saying, I am thy servant and thy son. Come up and deliver me out of the hand of the king of Syria, and out of the hand of the king of Israel, which rise up against me. And Ahaz took the silver and the gold that was found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house, and sent a reward unto the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria consented unto him, for the king of Assyria went up against Damascus. And when he had taken it, he carried the people away to Kir, and slew Rezin. Slew Rezin. And King Ahaz went unto Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria. And when King Ahaz saw an altar that was at Damascus, he sent to Uriah the priest the pattern of the altar, and the fashion of it, and all the workmanship thereof. And Uriah the priest made an altar in all points like to the pattern which King Ahaz had sent from Damascus. Even so did Uriah the priest make it against King Ahaz came from Damascus. And this against meaning ahead of. Yeah. Ahead of King Ahaz returning from Damascus. And so when the king was come from Damascus, he saw the altar, and the king went to it and offered thereon. And he burnt his burnt offering and his meat offering, and poured his drink offering, and sprinkled the blood of his peace offerings beside the altar that was by the brazen altar which was before the Lord, and set it without the temple, between the altar and the temple of the Lord, and put it on the north side of the altar. And King Ahaz commanded Uriah the priest, and said, Upon the great altar set on fire in the morning the burnt offering. Huh. I guess I read this as set upon fire, as in set on the fire. But I guess to set something on fire probably existed at this time. I didn't read it that way, but I'm sure that's how it must be. Set on fire. Set on fire. Does that originally mean set on top of fire? Whoa. Set on fire. Questioning everything now. Okay. Off them, the sides of the bases of the laver, and took the laver from off them, and took down the lavatory from the brazen oxen that were under it, and put it upon a pavement of stones. And the veil for the Sabbath that they had made in the house, and the king's entry without, turned he to the house of the Lord, for fear of the king of Assyria. And returned he, or put he in. And the rest of the words that concern Ahaz, what he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Look at that. Are they not written? And Ahaz slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Hezekiah his son reigned in his stead. 17. In the 12th year of Ahaz king of Judah began Hosea the son of Elah to reign in Samaria upon Israel 9 years, and did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. And Shalmaneser king of Assyria came up against him, and Hosea became his servant, and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found treason in Hosea, for he had sent messengers to So king of Egypt, and brought no present unto the king of Assyria from year to year. And therefore the king of Assyria took him, and put him in prison. And then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land, and gat up against Samaria, and besieged it 3 years. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria, and carried Israel away unto Syria, and put them in Hala, in Habor, by the river of Goza, and in the cities of the Medes. For it came to pass that the children of Israel sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and feared other gods. And this happened pretty quick after they made an alliance with Egypt again. And they walked in the ceremonies of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel, and in the ceremonies which the kings of Israel had made. Yeah, ceremonies. I'm going to find out if heathen has any relation to Hittites. The people of the heath. Where was I? Which the kings of Israel had made. And the children of Israel went about to hide those things that were not well from the Lord their God. And they built them hill altars in all their cities, both in the towers which they kept watch, and also in the strong towns. And they made them images and groves in every high hill, and under every thick tree. And there they burnt incense in all the hill altars, as did the heathen, whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to anger the Lord withal. For they served most vile idols, whereof the Lord had said unto them, Ye shall do no such thing. And the Lord testified in Israel and in Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, Turn from your wicked ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the laws which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets. Notwithstanding they would not hear, but rather hardened their necks, like to the stubbornness of their fathers, that did not believe in the Lord their God, for they refused his statutes and his appointment that he made with their fathers, and the witnesses wherewith he witnessed unto them. And they followed vanity, and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them that they should not do like them. But they left the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them images of metal, even 2 calves, and made groves, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they sacrificed their sons and their daughters in fire, and used witchcraft and enchantments, even selling themselves to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, to anger him. And the Lord was exceeding wroth with Israel. Oh. And put them out of his sight, that there was left but the tribe of Judah only. Nevertheless Judah also kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the ceremonies of Israel which they made. And the Lord cast up all the seed of Israel, and vexed them. Cast up. And delivered them into the hands of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. This almost this almost reads like vomit up, but I guess it's like, kicking up the dust. Cast up into, off the ground. Yeah, it's pretty literal. And delivered them into the hands of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. For Israel divided themselves from the house of David, and made them a king, even Jeroboam the son of Nebat. And Jeroboam drew Israel away, that they should not follow the Lord, and made them sin a great sin. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam which he did, and departed not therefrom, until the Lord put Israel away out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. And so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria, even unto this day. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, from Cutha, from Ava, from Hanath, and from Sepharvaim, and put them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria, and dwelt in the cities thereof. And it fortuned that at the beginning of their dwelling there they feared not the Lord, and the Lord sent lions among them, which slew them. Wherefore men said to the king of Assyria, The nations which thou hast translated and put in the cities of Samaria know not the law of the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions upon them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of worshipping the God of the land. Come here. Come here. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, Carry thither 1 or 2 of the priests whom ye brought thence, and let them go and dwell there, and teach them the fashion how to serve the God of the country. And then one of the priests which they had carried thence came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit every nation made them gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the hill altars, which the Sumerians had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. Every nation made them gods of their own, every nation in their own cities wherein they dwelt. The men of Babylon made Succoth-Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nergal, and the men of Hamath made Asima, and the Avites made Nibaz and Tartak, and the Sepharvites burnt their children in fire for Adramelech and Anamelech, the gods of Sepharvaim. And so they feared the Lord, and made them priests of the hill altars, both at the same time, which sacrificed for them in the houses of the hill altars. And so they feared the Lord, and served their own gods, after the manner of the people whom they carried thence. And unto this day they do after the old manner, and neither fear God, neither do after their ordinances and customs, and after the law and commandment which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, whom he called Israel. And the Lord made an appointment with them, and charged them, saying, Fear none other gods, nor bow yourselves to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them. But fear the Lord, which brought you out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm. Him fear, and to him bow, and to him do sacrifice. The statutes, ordinances, law, and commandment, which he wrote for you, be diligent and do forever. See that you be diligent to do forevermore, and fear not any other gods. And the appointment that I have made with you, see ye forget not, and fear none other gods. But the Lord your God ye shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hands of all your enemies. Howbeit they did not hearken, but did after their old custom. And so these nations feared their Lord, and served their images also, like as did their children and their children's children, even as did their fathers, so do they unto this day. 18. In the 3rd year of Hosea, son of Elah, king of Israel, it came to pass that Hezekiah the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, reigned. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah, and he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all as did David his father. According to all as did David his father. He put away the hill altars, and brake the images, and cut down the groves, and all to break the brazen serpent that Moses had made. All too. You could read an all to as and even to. Maybe. Break the images, cut down groves, and even broke the brazen serpent. For unto those days the children of Israel did sacrifice to it, and he called it Nehushtan. Moses called it that? No, I don't know. And he trusted in the Lord God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, neither were there any such before him. For he clave to the Lord, and departed not from him, but kept his commandments which the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him, so that he prospered in all things which he took in hand. He rebelled against the king of Assyria, and served him not. He smote the Philistines even unto Adza, and the coasts thereof, both castles where they kept their watches, and strong cities. And in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hosea, son of Elah, king of Israel, it fortuned that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria, and besieged it. And after 3 years they took it, even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is to say, the 9th year of Hosea, king of Israel. And Samaria was won, and the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria, and put them in Halah, and in Habor by the river of Goshan, and in the cities of the Medes, because they would not hearken unto the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his appointment, and all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded, and would neither hear them nor do them. And this was the same carrying away from the last chapter, reiterated. See, the people on the east side of Jordan were carried away, and then some decades later, the west side of Jordan, the north kingdom. Now all that's left is Judah. Therefore, in the 14th year of King Hezekiah did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the strong cities of Judah, and took them. Oh. Yeah, well, he didn't take the people, he took the cities. Okay, Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria to Lachish, saying, I have offended. Depart from me, and all that thou puttest on me, that will I. And depart from me, and all that thou puttest on me, that will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah king of Judah 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all silver that was found in the house of the Lord. Oh, appointed a levy. But covenant is also rendered as appointment. covenanted unto Hezekiah. Does that work? And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord. Okay. And in the treasures of the king's house. At the same season did Hezekiah rend off the doors of the temple of the Lord, and the pillars which the said Hezekiah king of Judah had covered over, and gave them to the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem, and gat them up, and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the way of the fuller's field. And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, which was steward of household, and Sobna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Tell ye Hezekiah, I pray you, thus saith the great king, even the great king of Assyria, What confidence is this that thou hast? Dost thou speak such a light word indeed? By counsel and power I will be ready to make war. On whom then dost thou trust, that thou rebellest against me? Dost thou trust to the staff of this broken reed Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it? Even so is Pharaoh king of Egypt unto all that trust on him. If ye say unto me, We trust in the Lord our God, is not that he who is that not he whose hill altars and his other altars Hezekiah hath put down, and hath said to Judah and Jerusalem, You shall worship before this altar here in Jerusalem? Now therefore deliver the deliver the wards deliver the words deliver the words to my lord the king of Assyria, that ye rebel not, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able to set riders upon them. He's speaking to the king. That's why he uses thou, I think. Oh, deliver the hold on. Now therefore deliver the wards to my lord the king of Assyria. Okay, ward. Okay. The wards are the what is this? The treasury? What chapter is this? Okay. Deliver the pledges. Okay. Wards for pledges. Okay. Give pledges. And I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able to set riders upon them. Why thinkest thou scorn at the presence of one of the least dukes of my master's servants, and trustest to Egypt for chariots and horsemen? Moreover, am I now come without the bidding of the Lord to this place to destroy it? The Lord said to me, Go up to his land and destroy it. And Eliakim the son of Hilkiah and Sobna and Joab said unto Rabshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' tongue in the ears of this people that are on the wall. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Hath my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me because of the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? Yeah, that's that's something. And so Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and spake, saying, Hear the saying of the great king of Assyria. Thus saith the king, Let not Hezekiah beguile you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of my hand. Neither let Hezekiah make you to trust in the Lord, saying, the Lord shall surely deliver us, and this city shall not be given over into the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not unto Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, Deal kindly with me, and come out to me, and then eat every man of his own vine and of his own fig tree, and drink every man of the water of his own well, till I come and fetch you to as good a land as yours is, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of oil, of olive trees, and of honey, that ye may live and not die. And hearken not unto Hezekiah, for he beguileth you, saying, the Lord shall deliver us. Hath every one of the gods of the nations delivered his hand out of the king the king of Assyria? Where is the God of Hamath and Arphad? And where is the God of Sepharvaim, Hava, and Eva? Did they deliver Samaria out of mine hand? And what God is it among all the gods of the nations that hath delivered his land out of mine hand? Shall the Lord deliver Jerusalem out of mine hand? But they that were of the people held their peace, and answered not him a word, for the king had commanded, saying, Answer him not. Then Eliakim, which was steward of household, and Sobna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder, came to Hezekiah with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh. Kitty. 19. So it came to pass that when King Hezekiah heard it, he rent his clothes and put on sack, and came into the house of the Lord, and sent Eliakim, which was steward of the household, and Sobna the scribe, Shibna, and the elders of the priests, clothed in sack, to Uzziah. This is spelled the same way as Jesse. Whoa. It's probably the same name. To Uzziah the prophet, the son of Amoz. And they said unto him, Thus saith Hezekiah, This day is a day of tribulation, and of rebuke, and blasphemy. For the children are come to the birth, and there is no strength to be delivered. Peradventure the Lord thy God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria his master hath sent, to rail on the living God, and to rebuke him with words which the Lord thy God hath heard. And lift thou up thy prayer for the remnant that are left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Uzziah. And Uzziah said unto them, So shall ye say to your master, Thus saith the Lord, Be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the young men of the king of Assyria have railed on me. Behold, I will put him in another mind, and he shall hear tidings, and so return to his own land. And I will bring to pass that he shall fall upon the sword, even in his own land. And Rabshakeh went back again, and found the king of Assyria fighting against Libnah, for he had heard how that he was departed from Lachish. And when he heard men say of Tirshakeh, king of the black Moors, Behold, he is come out to fight against thee, he departed and sent messengers unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus speak to Hezekiah king of Judah, saying, Let not thy God deceive thee, in whom thou trustest, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all lands, how they have utterly destroyed them. And shalt thou alone escape? Have the gods of the heathen delivered them, which mine ancestors have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran, Rezeph, and the children of Eden, which were in Bethlasar? Where is the king of Hamath and the king of Arphad, the king of the city of Sepharvaim, and of Hava and Eva? This is a nested quote here. So Rabshakeh says to the messengers, Say this to Hezekiah. Um, you know, here's what your God may say. Okay, I think this is ancestors. So Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Lord and laid it abroad before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord God of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubs, thou art God alone over all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Lord, bow down thine ear and hear. Open, Lord, thine eyes, I beseech thee, and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which hath sent this man to rail on the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have destroyed nations and their lands, and have set fire on their gods. For they were no gods, but the work of the hands of man, even of wood and stone. And they destroyed them. Now therefore, O Lord our God, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou only art the Lord God. And Uzziah the son of Amoz sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, That which thou hast prayed me concerning Sennacherib king of Assyria, I have heard it. This is therefore the word that the Lord hath said of him. The virgin, even the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn, O thou king of Assyria. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou railed on, and whom hast thou blasphemed? Against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes so high, even against the Holy of Israel? By the hand of the messengers thou hast railed on the Lord, and said, With the multitude of my chariots I am come up to the tops of the mountains, even along by the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the high cedar trees, and the lusty fir trees thereof, and I will go into the lodging of his nest, and into the wood of his plain. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and with the step of my going will I dry all the water pools that are besieged. Hast thou not heard how I have ordained such a thing a great while ago, and have prepared it from the beginning? And shall I not now bring it forth, that I may destroy, and to bring strong cities into waste heaps of stones, and the inhabitants of them shall be of little power, and faint-hearted and confounded, and shall be like the grass of the field, or green herb, or as the hay of the tops of the houses, or as the corn that is unripe, and smitten with blasting. I know thy dwelling, thy coming out and thy going in, and thy way, and thy fury against me. And because thou ragest against me, and thinkest thyself so blessed, this is come upon mine ears. And I will put mine hook in thy nostrils, and my bit in thy lips, and will bring thee back again the same way thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee, O Hezekiah. Ye shall eat this year of such things as grow of themselves, and the next year such as come up of those that did grow of their own accord. Such as come up of those that did grow of their own accord. And the third year sow ye and reap, plant vineyards and eat the fruits thereof. And it that is escaped and left of the daughter of Judah shall yet again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go a remnant, and a number shall escape out of the Mount Zion. Shall go a remnant, and in number, that shall escape out of Mount Zion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall bring this thing to pass. Wherefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, He shall not come to this city, nor shoot an arrow into it, nor come before it with shield, nor cast bank against it, but shall go back again the way he came, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it, for mine own sake, and for David my servant's sake. And so it came to pass that the selfsame night the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the host of the Assyrians 185,000. And when the remnant were up early in the morning, they saw they were all dead corpses. And so Sennacherib king of Assyria avoided and departed, and went again and dwelt at Nineveh. And it fortuned that as he was in the temple, worshipping Nisroch his god, Adrammelech and Sharezer his own sons smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Azarhaddon his son reigned in his stead. 20. About that time was Hezekiah sick unto death, and the prophet Isaiah the son of Amoz came to him and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Put thy household in an order, for thou shalt die and not live. And Hezekiah turned his face to the wall, and prayed to the Lord, saying, I beseech thee now, O Lord, remember how I have walked before thee in truth, and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. And it fortuned that afore Isaiah was gone out into the middle of the court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Turn again, and tell Hezekiah the captain of my people, Thus saith the Lord God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, and seen thy tears, and behold, I will heal thee, so that on the third day thou shalt go up into the house of the Lord. And I will add unto thy days yet 15 years, and will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and will defend this city for mine own sake, and for David my servant's sake. And Uzziah said, Take a lump of figs. And they took it, and laid it on the sore, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, What shall be the sign that the Lord will heal me, and that I shall go up into the house of the Lord that third day, or the third day? Isaiah answered, This sign shalt thou have of the Lord, that the Lord will do that he hath spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees, or go back again 10 degrees? Hezekiah answered, It is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. Neither is that my desire. But if the shadow go backward 10 degrees, it is no light thing. And Isaiah the prophet called unto the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz, the sundial. The same season Berodach-baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and a present to Hezekiah, for he had heard how that Hezekiah was sick. And Hezekiah was glad of them, and showed them all his treasure house, silver, gold, odors, precious ointment, all the house of his armory, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, and in all his realm, that Hezekiah showed them not. And Isaiah the prophet came unto King Hezekiah, and said unto him, What said these men, and from whence came they to thee? And Hezekiah said, They be come from a far country, even from Babylon. And he said again, What have they seen in thine house? Hezekiah answered, All the things that are in mine house have they seen. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not showed them. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, Hear the word of the Lord. Behold, the days come that all that is in thy house, and whatsoever thy fathers have laid up in store unto this day, shall be carried into Babylon, and nothing shall be left, saith the Lord. And of thy sons that shall proceed out of thee, and which thou shalt beget, shall they take away, and they shall be chamberlains in the palace of the king of Babylon. And Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, Welcome be the word of the Lord which thou hast spoken. And he said, There shall not be a peace. Oh, shall there not be peace and truth in my days? The remnant of the words that concern Hezekiah and all his power, and how he made a pool and a conduit, and brought water into the city, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Hezekiah slept with his fathers, and Manasseh his son reigned in his stead, which was evil but repented. Even very evil but repented. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years. In Jerusalem his mother's name also was Hephzibah, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord, even after the abomination of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. For he went and built the hill altars which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. And he reared up altars for Baal, and made groves, as did Ahab king of Israel, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served them. And he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord said, In Jerusalem will I put my name. And he built altars for all the host of heaven, even in 2 courts of the house of the Lord. And he offered his sons in fire, and gave heed unto witchcraft and sorcery, and maintained workers with spirits, and tellers of fortunes, and brought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord, to anger him. And he put an image of a grove that he had made even in the temple, of which the Lord had said to David and to Solomon his son, In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever. Neither will I make the feet of Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers, so that they will observe and do all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they hearkened not, and Manasseh led them out of the way to do more wickedly than did the heathen people, whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel. And the Lord spake by his servants the prophets, saying, Because Manasseh king of Judah hath done such abominations, and hath wrought more wickedly than all that the Amorites which were before him did, the iniquity of the Amorites, and hath made Judah sin also with his idols, therefore thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Behold, I will bring such evil upon Jerusalem and Judah, that whoso heareth of it, both his ears shall tingle. And I will stretch over Jerusalem the squaring line of Samaria, and the plummet of the house of Ahab. And I will wipe out Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish, and when he hath wiped it, turneth it upside down. And I will leave the remnant of mine inheritance, leave the remnant, and deliver them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall be robbed and spoiled of all their adversaries, even because they have done evil in my sight, and have angered me, since the time their fathers came out of Egypt until this day. And Manasseh shed innocent blood exceeding much, till he replenished Jerusalem from corner to corner. Beside his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin and to do evil in the sight of the Lord. The rest of the words that concern Manasseh, and all that he did, and his sin that he sinned, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Manasseh slept with his fathers, and was buried in his own house, even in the garden of Uzzah. And Amon his son reigned in his stead. I thought Manasseh repented. Does that happen in Chronicles? I think it does. Amon was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Meshullemeth, the daughter of Harum of Jotbah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and as his father Manasseh did, and walked in all the way that his father walked in, and served the idols that his father served, and worshipped them. And he forsook the Lord God of his fathers, and walked not in the way of the Lord. And the servants of Ammon conspired against him, and slew the king in his own house. And the people of the land slew all them that had conspired against King Ammon, and the people made Josiah his son king in his stead. The rest of the words that concern Ammon, what things he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And they buried him in his sepulchre, in the garden of Uzzah, and Josiah his son reigned in his stead. And we know that Josiah is good. But what about Manasseh? That's so interesting. 22. Oh yeah, I wanted to see what this Uzzah is about. Yeah, the Garden of Uzzah. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Jedidah, the daughter of Adiah of Bozkah. He did that which is right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in all the ways of David his father, and bowed neither to the right hand or to the left. And it came to pass that in the 18th year of the reign of King Josiah, the king sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, the son of Meshullam, the scribe, to the house of the Lord, saying, Go up to Hilkiah the high priest, that he may sum the silver which is brought into the house of the Lord, which the keepers of the porch have gathered of the people, and let them deliver it into the hand of them that do the work, and that have the oversight of the house of the Lord, and let them give it to them that work in the house of the Lord, to repair the decayed places of the temple, even unto carpenters and masons and workers upon the walls, and for to buy timber and free stone to repair the temple. Howbeit let no reckoning be made with them of the money that is delivered into their hand, for their use is to deal faithfully. And Hilkiah the high priest said unto Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law of the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read in it. And Shaphan the scribe came to the king, and brought him word again, and said, Thy servants have bestowed the money that was found in the temple, and have delivered it unto them that do the work, and that have the oversight of the house of the Lord. And Shaphan the scribe showed the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath delivered me a book. And Shaphan read in it before the king. And it fortuned that when the king had heard the words of the Lord of the law, the words of the book of the law, he rent his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah the priest, and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Achbor the son of Micaiah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Azahiah a servant of the king, saying, Go ye and inquire of the Lord for me, and for the people, and for all Judah, concerning the words of this book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not hearkened unto the words of this book, to do according unto all that which is written therein for us. So Hilkiah the high priest, and Ahikam, Achbor, and Shaphan, and Asahiah went unto Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shulam, the son of Tikvah, the son of Harhan, keeper of the wardrobe, which prophetess dwelt in Jerusalem in the house of the doctrine, and they communed with her. Um, oh, the college. Okay, well, that's what a college is. It's a house of the doctrine. And she answered them, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Tell the man that sent you to me, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and on the inhabitants thereof, even all the words of the book which the king of Judah hath read, because they have forsaken me, and have burnt incense unto other gods, to anger me with all the works of their hands. My wrath also shall be kindled against this place, and shall not be quenched. But to the king of Judah, which sent you to ask counsel of the Lord, so shall ye say, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, as touching the words which ye have heard, because thine heart did melt, and because thou hast humbled thyself before me, the Lord, when thou heardest what I spake against this place, and against the inhabitants of the same, how that they should be destroyed and accursed, and hast rent thy clothes, and wept before me, of that also have I heard. Of that also have I heard, saith the Lord. Behold, therefore I will receive thee unto thy fathers, and thou shalt be put into thy grave in peace, and thine eyes shall not see all the evil which I will bring upon this place. And they brought the king word again. 23. And then the king sent, and there gathered unto him all the elders of Judah and of Jerusalem. And the king went up into the house of the Lord, with all the men of Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, with the priests and prophets, and all the people, both small and great. And he read in the ears of them all the words of the book of the covenant, which was found in the house of the Lord. And the king stood by a pillar, and made a covenant before the Lord, that they should walk after the Lord, and keep his commandments, his witnesses, and his statutes, with all their heart and all their soul, and make good the words of the said appointment that were written in the foresaid book. And all the people consented to the appointment or covenant. And the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest, and the inferior high priests, and the keepers of the ornaments, to bring out of the temple of the Lord all the vessels that were made for Baal, for the groves, and for all the host of heaven. And he burnt them without Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron, and carried the ashes of them into Bethel. And he put down the ministers of Baal, whom the kings of Judah had founded, uh, to burn incense in the hill altars and cities of Judah that were round about Jerusalem, and also them that burnt incense unto Baal, to the sun, uh, burn incense unto Baal, to the sun, to the moon, to the planets, and to all the host of heaven. And he brought out the grove from the temple of the Lord without Jerusalem unto the brook Kidron, and burnt it there at the brook Kidron, and stamped it to powder, poudre, powder, and cast the dust thereof upon the graves of the children of the people. And he brake down the cells of the males' stews, And stews are, I looked this up the other day. Why is it possessive? Brothel. Oh, okay. Of the males, brothels. Stews of males? Yeah. So there you go. The cells. I don't know what this is about. The cells of the male brothels. Cast the dust, which were on the right hand of the hangings for the grove. Oh, well. Brought out the grove, dented powder, break down. Okay. Cast the dust upon the graves. Okay, this does not quite line up. Oh, I scrolled too far. Yeah, break down the houses of the Sodomites that were by the house of the Lord. Okay, yeah. I got confused because there's something that resembles this later in the chapter. Okay, break down the cells of the males' stews or brothels that were by the house of the Lord, where the women wove hangings for the grove. And he brought all the priests out of the cities of Judah, and defiled the hill altars where the priests had burned incense, even from Geba to Beersheba, and destroyed the altars of the gates that were in the entering in of the gate of Joshua the governor of the city, which were as a man goeth in on the left hand of the gate of the city. Nevertheless, the priests of the hill altars came not up to the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, save only they did eat of the sweet bread among their brethren. Save only they did eat. This is like saying, except they did eat. And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the children of Hinnom, because no man should offer his son or his daughter in fire to Moloch. He put down the horses, the kings of Judah, the horses that, the horses that the kings of Judah had given to the sun at the entering in of the house of the Lord by the chamber of Nathan-melech, the chamberlain which was ruler of the suburbs, and burnt the chariots of the sun with fire. And the altars that were on the top of the parlor of Ahaz, which the kings of Judah had made, and the altars which Manasseh had made in the two courts of the house of the Lord, did the king break down, and ran thence, and cast the dust of them in the brook of Kidron. And the hill altars that were before Jerusalem on the right hand of the Mount Olivet, which Solomon the king of Israel had builded for Ashtaroth the idol of the Zidons, and for Chemosh the idol of the Moabites, and for Milcom the abominable idol of the children of Ammon, those the king defiled, and brake the images, and cut down the groves, and filled their places with the bones of men. Stuff that preceded. Oh, actually, this is in Judah. Yeah. Moreover, the altar that was at Bethel, the hill altar made by Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel sin, both the altar and also the hill he broke down, and burnt the hill altar, and stamped it to powder, and burnt the grove. And as Josiah turned himself, he spied the graves that were in the mount, and sent and fetched the bones out of the graves, and burnt them upon the altar to pollute it, according to the word of the Lord that the man of God proclaimed, which told the same words. Hmm. Then he said, What gravestone is yonder that I see? And the men of the city told him, It is the sepulchre of the man of God, which came from Judah, and told. So this you kind of have to read into it a little bit. And all the houses of the hill altars in the cities of Samaria, which the kings of Israel had made to anger the Lord withal, those Josiah put out of the way, and did to them according to all the acts that he had done in Bethel. And he sacrificed all the priests of the hill altars that were there, even upon the altars, and burnt men's bones upon them, and returned to Jerusalem. And the king commanded all the people, saying, Keep the feast of Passover unto the Lord your God, as it is written in the book of this covenant. There was no Passover holden like that, from the days of the judges that judged Israel, and in all the days of the kings of Israel, and of the kings of Judah. In the 18th year of the king of Josiah was this Passover holden to the Lord in Jerusalem. And thereto, or on top of that, workers with spirits, and soothsayers, images, idols, and all the abominations that were espied in the land of Judah and Jerusalem, those did Josiah put out of the way, to perform the words of the law which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. Like unto him was there no king before him, that turned to the Lord with all his heart, with all his soul, and all his might, according to all the law of Moses. Neither after him arose there any such as he. Notwithstanding, the Lord turned not from the fierceness of his great wrath, wherewith he was angry against Judah, because of all the provocations that Manasseh had provoked him withal. And the Lord said, I will put Judah also out of my sight, as I have done away Israel. As I have done away Israel. And will cast off this city Jerusalem which I have chosen, and the house of which I said, My name shall be there. The rest of the words that concern Josiah, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In his days Pharaoh Necho king of Egypt went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and King Josiah went against him, and was slain of him at Megiddo, when he had seen him. And his servants carried him dead from Megiddo, and brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz the son of Josiah, and anointed him, and made him king in his father's stead. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Hamiel, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all things as his fathers had done. And Pharaoh Necho put him in bonds at Riblah in the land of Hamath, that he should not reign in Jerusalem, and put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver, and a talent of gold. And Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king in the room of Josiah his father, and turned his name to Jehoiakim, and took Jehoahaz away, which when he came to Egypt died there. And Jehoiakim gave the silver and the gold to Pharaoh, and taxed the land to give the money, according to the request of Pharaoh, requiring of every man, according to their ability, silver and gold, even of the people of the land, to give unto Pharaoh Necho. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Zebudah, the daughter of Pedaiah of Rumah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all things as his fathers had done. 24. In his days came Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon up, and Jehoiakim became his servant 3 years, and then turned and rebelled against him. And the Lord sent upon him men of war from among the Chaldees, from among the Syrians, out of the Moabites, and from the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the saying of the Lord which he spake by his servants the prophets. Only at the bidding of the Lord happened it so to Judah, to put them out of his sight, for the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he did, and for the innocent blood that he shed, and filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, and the Lord would not be reconciled. The rest of the words that concern Jehoiakim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And so Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiachin his son reigned in his stead. And the king of Egypt came no more out of his land, for the king of Babylon had taken from the river of Egypt unto the river Euphrates all that pertained to the king of Egypt. Jehoiachin was 18 years old, and reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. His mother's name also was Nehushta, the daughter of Elnathan of Jerusalem. Is this the name of that snake? That copper snake. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all as his father had done. In that time came the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city, and his servants did besiege it. And Jehoiakim the king of Judah came out to the king of Babylon, he and his mother, his servants, his lords, and his chamberlains. And the king of Babylon took him in the 8th year of his reign. And he carried out thence all the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasure of the king's house, and brake all the vessels of gold which Solomon king of Israel had made in the temple of the Lord, as the Lord had said. And he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the lords, and all the strong men of war, even 10,000 into captivity, and all craftsmen and keepers, none remaining save the poor common people of the land. And he carried away Jehoiachin to Babylon, and the king's mother, and the king's wives, his chamberlains, and them that were mighty in the land, those carried he away into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon in 586 BC. And all the active men of war, even 7,000, and craftsmen and porters 1,000, all that were strong and apt for war, did the king of Babylon bring to Babylon captive. And the king of Babylon made Mattaniah his father's brother, king in his stead, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all as Jehoiachin had done, for the wrath of the Lord was moved against Jerusalem and Judah, until he cast them out of his sight. And Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. 25. Is Johanan and that other guy mentioned in here? What was his name? Ishmael? No, couldn't be. Okay. And it fortuned that in the 9th year of his reign, the 10th day of the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came he and all his host against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and made engines against it on every side. And the city was besieged unto the 11th year of King Zedekiah. And the 9th day of the month there was so great hunger in the city, that there was no bread for the people of the land. And the city was broken up, and all the men of arms fled by night, by a way through a gate, which is between two walls by the king's garden, and the Chaldees lying about the city. And the king went the way toward the plain, and the soldiers of the Chaldees followed after the king, and took him in the plain of Jericho, and all his army were scattered away from him, and left him. So they took the king, and brought him to Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon to Riblah, where they reasoned with him. And they slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, and he put out the eyes of Zedekiah, and fettered him with 2 chains, and carried him to Babylon. How terrible that that's the last thing he sees. In the 7th day of this 5th month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuzaradan, a servant of the king of Babylon, and a servant and chief captain of the men of war, unto Jerusalem, and burnt the house of the Lord and the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem, and all the great houses burnt he with fire. And all the soldiers of the Chaldees that were with the chief captain of the men of war broke down the walls of Jerusalem round about. But the rest of the people that were left in the city, and them that were fled to the king of Babylon, with the remnant of the common people, did Nebuzaradan the chief captain of the men of war carry away. But the captain of the soldiers left of the poor of the land. Okay. But the captain of the soldiers left of the poor of the land to dress the vines and to till the land. The captain left some of the poor of the land. And the pillars of brass that were in the house of the Lord, and the sockets, and the brazen lavatory that was in the house of the Lord, did the Chaldees break, and carried all the brass of them to Babylon. And the pots, shovels, dressing knives, spoons, and all the vessels of the brass that, that they ministered in. Vessels of the brass? Vessels of that brass that they ministered in took they away. And the fire pans and basins and such things as were of gold and of silver, them took the chief captain away, even 2 pillars, 1 lavatory, and the sockets which Solomon had made for the house of the Lord. The brass of all these vessels was without weight. The height of the 1 pillar was 18 cubits, and the head thereon was brass, and 3 cubits high, and upon the head was there a wreathen work of pomegranates round about, all of brass. And of the same fashion was the 2nd pillar with a wreathen work. Probably wreathen, but I say wreathen. Why not? And the chief captain of the men of war took Sariah the chief priest, and Zephaniah the highest priest, save one. Does this mean 2nd highest? Hold on. Yeah, the 2nd priest in the King James. Zephaniah the 2nd priest. Zephaniah the highest priest save one, once removed. And the 3 keepers of the holy things. And out of the city he took a chamberlain that had the oversight of the men of war, and 5 men of them that were ever in the king's presence, which were found in the city, and him that was scribe to the captain of the host, which brought out the people of the land to war. The captain which brought the people of the land out to war, and 60 men of the people of the land that were found in the city. And Nebuzaradan the chief captain of the men of war took these, and brought them to the king of Babylon to Riblah. And the king of Babylon smote them and slew them at Riblah in the hand of Hanath. The king occupied the hand of Hanath with the slaying of these, you could say. And so Judah was carried away out of their land. Howbeit there remained people in the land of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon left, and made Gedaliah the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, ruler over them. And all the captains of the soldiers and other men heard that the king of Babylon had made Gedaliah governor. Oh yeah, here we go, there's Ishmael. And there came to Gedaliah at what is that? Mizpah. That's Mizpah. Okay. Mazpah. With an E on the end? There came to Gedaliah at Mizpah Ishmael the son of Nethaniah, Johanan the son of Kareah, Sariah the son of Tanhumeth, and Tanhumeth the Netophathite, and Jazaniah the son of Makati, the son of Makati, or Makath, and their men. And Gedaliah sware to them, and to the men whom they had with them, and said unto them, fear not ye, because ye are the servants of the Chaldees. Dwell in the land, and serve the king of Babylon, and ye shall be well. And it chanced in the 7th month that Ishmael the son of Nethaniah, the son of Elishama, of the king's blood, came, and 10 men with him, and smote Gedaliah that he died, and so did he the Jews and the Chaldees that were with him at Mizpah. Here we go. So John will go down to Egypt to escape him. This is the first John in the whole book. Jehohanan. And all the people, both small and great, and the captains of war, arose and came to Egypt, for they were afraid of the Chaldees. Notwithstanding, yet in the 37th year after Jehoiakim king of Judah, after the king of Judah was carried away, oh, the 27th day of the 12th month, evil Merodach king of Babylon, the same year that he began to reign, did lift up the head of Jehoiakim king of Judah out of the prison, and spake kindly to him, and set his seat above the seat of the kings that were with him in Babylon, and changed his prison garments, or exchanged. And he did ever eat bread before him all the days of his life. His portion was a continual portion that was assigned him of the king, every day a certain, as long as he lived. Every day a certain portion. I like that you can use certain and chosen and things like that as pronouns. He was every day a certain, as long as he lived. The end of 2 Kings. And we'll continue next time with the first book of Chronicles. So thank you for watching, friends and neighbors. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. You can find these on YouTube. I'm not saving them on Twitch. So, till next time, I love you. God bless you. Good night, friends. And take care. Peace.